Welcome to another episode of CrockTalk TV. I am your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, Eric Crocker. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about Kelvin Joseph, cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys now, 44th overall pick out of Kentucky University. All right. But before we get into Kelvin Joseph, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button right now. Go ahead. Hit the subscribe button. All right. Now hit the like button. All right. Did that. Okay. So let's get into some Kelvin Joseph. So Kelvin Joseph, he's pretty intriguing, right? I hear some off-field issues and stuff like that. Look, I can't speak on that. I don't know. All I can talk about is what I see on film from the prospect. And if you really want to see my entire breakdown on him, make sure you guys click in the description below. See the patreon.com/CrockTalk, and that's the link right there directly to Kelvin Joseph's full film breakdown. Today, I just want to talk about a play between him and Kyle Pitts that kind of stands out to me. Some things that I have noticed with him that are very intriguing. I think why. So I had tweeted out that, hey, he's a wild card. As far as the cornerbacks go, I don't think people really know exactly what they're going to get from him. But from a talent perspective, he's just as talented as anybody in this class. He's a height, weight, speed guy for sure. And everybody knows me. I love my fluid movers. He's definitely a fluid mover. He has good feet, hips, change of direction. All that stuff is great. There were some things that kind of stood out to me where I was like, and really a lot of it had to do with his eye discipline. But if you get his eye discipline fixed, then we're talking about somebody that can be definitely a big time player and whatever else he got going on off the field. But again, I don't touch on that stuff. But anyways, I want to talk about the play between him and Kyle Pitts and why it happened. I think this is the part of football and viewing a prospect, right? Prospect. When you're looking at prospect, you can't look at them as a finished product. Like none of these guys are finished products. None of them. Now, why some guys go higher than others, you got to look at what's fixable and what's not, right? So when I look at him and I look at why he got beat by Kyle Pitts, it jumped out to me right away. I see the play. Boom, okay. Little corner, post, touchdown. Like, damn, okay, good job, Kyle Pitts, but Kelvin Joseph, that's on you. You took a false step. If you don't take a false step, that gap between you and Kyle Pitts, it doesn't close as much. Now you're comfortable in your back pedal. When he gives you the little out and then comes back, now because of the space, you don't have to bite as much and the depth isn't messed up. So those are things right there where I see that play, and I don't look at it like a fan might, where they're like, oh, just got burnt. He just can't guard him. Like, no, he can, and he has all the ability. And as a prospect, you're viewing that is like, hey, is that something I can fix with him going to the next level? Like, yeah. Now, obviously, if it's something that happens consistently, then it's more of an issue. But when you see it happen like that, it's just like you took a false step. And I would get him to the sideline like, hey, stay in your pedal. If you don't take a false step, you're good. And he's not dancing in the end zone. And it never happens. So that's how I view a lot of these things with defensive backs. What am I getting from him? Is he a fluid mover? His feet, speed, hips, all that stuff. Like if those all check out, then you want to look into the consistency. So I would look at a Kyle Pitts play like that and say, hey, was he consistently taking false steps, and how much do I have to, or how hard do I have to work it to get that out of him? And from his film, I didn't see it too much. There was a play early on in that game where he was guarding, I want to say it was Grimes, it was somebody on the left side, left side of the offense, right side of the defense, and he took a false step at the line of scrimmage, but he recovered extremely well, and read the receiver down. So those are things too that I look at and I'm just like, well, he has the ability to kind of fix his mistakes. And that's good, because that means that he possesses, certain level of talent to be able to do that. I watched him against Alabama. I thought that was his best game. And there are certain things I noticed, if I talk about his eye discipline, a lot of times it's not just because of one rep or even when he's targeted. I'm looking at when he's not targeted as well. I think I noticed a lot. He wasn't driving guys out of his break. And a lot of times he's not driving guys out of his break because he's looking at the quarterback. So even you guys might just look at his catches and stuff like that. Like I'm looking at what he does on a consistent basis, and that looked like something I kind of jumped out a little bit. But again, it's very fixable. Now, again, is he going to be somebody that puts in the work to overcome some of those, eye discipline type issues? And I don't know about that. But as far as, just being talented, he has that. You watch him against Alabama, I thought he put on display kind of who he is, being comfortable with Devontae Smith in space, not really worried about, what this guy might do to him and how he whoops everybody else. I thought he looked comfortable and played him extremely well. Let his feet do all the work for him. I thought that game from press he did well. From off coverage he did a good job. There were a couple like red zone reps where he was, off coverage and squeezing routes, squeezing in breaking routes. And I'm like, man, he's a fluid mover. It looks good. Like I think he possesses everything to be good. So my initial tweet was he's a wild card. And I think he possesses a lot of talent. But a lot of his issues that he has on field are fixable. Off field, I can't speak on that. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Crock Talk. I just kind of want to get on here and talk about, just a little bit, kind of throw it out there. Again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. If you want to see the full breakdown of Kelvin Joseph, go ahead and subscribe to the Patreon account with the link in the description. All right, but that's going to do it. Catch y'all next time. Peace.